Welcome to the Best Damn Podcast, brought to you from I&I Music and Podcast Studios in downtown Boulder City. This is your host, Jill Lagan, CEO of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce. In each episode, we will highlight what makes Boulder City, home of the Hoover Dam, the ideal place to operate your small business, explore world-class tourism attractions, and discover why we are the perfect place to live and unwind.
Today is a yummy day for us to get to visit with the Best of Boulder City Award winners. We're so proud and excited to have Alex and Jenny Villasenor. Thank you and welcome to the Best Damn Podcast. Thank you guys for joining us.
Thank you for having us.
We are very grateful for all that you guys have contributed. Such amazing addition to Boulder City and the restaurant scene. But not even just that. You guys have also added to the social scene. People love to come and hang out with you guys. Your staff is amazing. The customer service is amazing. The food is phenomenal. The things that you guys do to try to one up with the last thing you did, I'm telling you, it's just incredible. Your crepes, everything you do is just phenomenal. So thank you so much for being such a true asset to Boulder City.
Thank you. It's our pleasure.
So, Huevos Avenue.
Yep.
Tell me where this name came from.
So this name is actually a funny story. We started this, I was living still in California, and me and Jenny had a long distance relationship. And I would fly out once a month at the beginning. Then I will fly out once every 3 weeks, once every 2 weeks. And then it was pretty much I was flying out every week. And as we were doing that, we wanted to start a business. We wanted to start a restaurant. So we started the planning phase from a long distance. And one of the main things was figuring out a name. So
Right.
One night, we get on the phone, we get on a FaceTime call, and we get a list together. And we just start joking back and forth of what kind of names. We came up with some serious names, and then we started joking around and being silly. It was, 9 o'clock at night, 8 o'clock at night, so it was late. We're just trying to have a laugh. And one of those names just happens to be Huevos means eggs in English. So
Right.
just Huevos Avenue, and we just took it as a joke. And we put it on the list, right? Remember that? We put it on the list. And as we put it on the list, it stayed on the list. And as the weeks progressed, we did a process of elimination.
Mhm.
We don't like this. We don't like that. There's another name like this already. And we just started eliminating a few. That name stayed on there.
That's fun.
And as we moved forward and forward, finally we got to the date where we needed to come up with our actual logo and our name. So we had to make a decision that day. And it was just a funny decision because we just laughed about it. We're like, yeah, let's just call it, it's going to be breakfast. It's going to be about eggs. So Huevos Avenue. And it was how we came up with the name.
I love it. So thank you for letting us in on your little kind of inside joke, right? I mean, that's one of the bonds that's made you guys so close. And so how fun is that? So what is avenue in Spanish?
Avenue in Spanish is actually avenida.
So that would not have worked for
Hence, in English. So we wanted to make a Spanglish where anybody can relate to it, and we're going to make it simple for everyone all the way around.
I love it. Thank you for dumbing it down for me because I needed that. I appreciate you and that you guys are thinking about the public and the impact that your logo and your daughter actually is the one that drew the logo, correct?
She helped out with it. Helped out with it. We made some details, and we actually have two logos. The original, which is more on the kind of back end, and then the newest logo, which is now going to be the public logo, which is the one with the 2 egg figures.
Oh, very cool. Yep, I've seen that one.
Yep.
And she's also drawn art that you have hanging on the walls in the restaurant.
She helped out with some of that, and then one of Jenny's friends as well, and my sister from California.
Wow.
Did a big chunk as well. And then the mural, as soon as you walk in for the Hoover Dam, my sister and myself drew that one, and we completed it. We pulled an all-nighter to finish it by the ribbon cutting.
I was going to say, I remember you guys talking about it at the ribbon cutting and you guys being like zombies. Because speaking of being like zombies, you are an amazing father. You are so committed to those kids, and taking that trip every week back to California to spend time with your kids, setting the restaurant up for success before you leave. And it's in capable hands with Jenny, obviously, and your staff. And so I just think that is such a sacrifice. And thank you very much for doing that.
I just learned that a couple hours ago.
Well, again, how you're awake, I don't know some of these days. And do you get creative ideas while you're in the air or driving, or, I mean,
Usually, I'm usually, when I get on the plane, I put on my AirPods in and I just put the music so I could kind of drown out the environment. And I'm always on my phone. So I'm checking emails, I'm responding. I'm always on just checking competitors. And I mean, just trying to see what ideas they have. What can we clash together and make our own and change and bring attention and then try out. So yes, as I'm in California, in the whole transition of airport here to
Yes.
there and then back and so on and so forth. Yeah, I do jump on a lot of socials. I do jump on a lot of things that are restaurant related to update myself and see when the new creative ideas we get and how we can improve from where we're at now.
I love that. You got to take that downtime. Your physical hands can't be doing that kind of restaurant
so.
work, but you got to definitely keep yourself busy. I love that. And I love the way your mind works. That's great. So, Jenny, it's got to be a challenge for you to keep things afloat while he's being dad. But I think that you guys have learned such a great balance. I would imagine you attribute a lot of that to your staff. You have a great staff.
Don't get shy.
You don't need to be shy. You just have an amazing staff. And I know that such great customer service, and it's like they live the brand. They want people to be happy, and they want to see people enjoy their food. I've had them come over and ask, how did you like that? That was a new one, or Alex just created that last week. And so they are as into it as you guys are.
We all joke around with the guests. And we always, on their way out, we always say, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yes.
And it's funny because they show up the next day.
Because they thought you meant it.
Or when they see us out in public.
Oh, yeah, when we're out in public, in town, and they recognize us, and they always tell us, we'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. You guys have branded something. That's such a great thing.
Yeah.
What a fun thing, right? I mean, that adds to the fun. And so is your son realizing that being a celebrity now in Boulder City is kind of what comes with having a restaurant?
Yeah, he does. He automatically assumes that everybody and their mom knows who we are.
Yeah.
Automatically assumes it.
It's so cute. He's adorable. And hopefully he'll also eventually be part of that great customer service.
Exactly.
Very cool. You know, something else I was just popped in my head as we were talking about him. I know that your kind of background, it was finance, right? You kind of came from that world. How in the heck do you go from finance to creating amazing food? What created that timeline? How did that happen?
So I have two backgrounds. I do own a company in California, which is finance based. And I still own it in California. Me and my mother are partners in that business.
Okay, cool.
And it's one of the things that I love doing. I love doing finance. And then but my other background for 16 years was a multi-unit operator. So I was a regional manager for a restaurant chain.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, well, I mean, that does make a lot more sense. I did not realize that. I knew the finance side, but I didn't realize that. And so you got to kind of see the business side. And was it for a chain that provided good food? And so then it inspired you?
You maybe heard of it once or twice. I have.
Oh, yes. Well, there you go.
So,
I have heard that.
So, yeah, I was a area supervisor for Northern California.
Oh, my
So,
gosh.
All the way from San Luis Obispo, SLO,
Hmm.
all the way up to Reno, Nevada.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I had a big chunk of the area, and I did that for 16 years, and I got to see the food side, the financial side as well with them. So I got to experience from the bottom to the top, everything in between. So
Oh, I had no idea. That absolutely answers a lot of questions.
Yeah.
How great is that? And so I would imagine, too, seeing some successful shops and some that struggled,
Yeah.
that kind of probably helped you open your eyes to what you don't want to do, right?
Exactly.
You probably had some game plans. Just much like you had a list of names and titles for the restaurant, you probably had a list of things you didn't want to have happen.
That's exactly right. Back when I was in the corporate side, there was 77 locations for that ownership group. And
Wow.
on that ownership group, of course, not all 77 are going to succeed. So you have a list of restaurants that are very successful, and it's publicly made within the company, your top 10 and your bottom 10, and then everyone in between. And you get to see how the top 10 operate and what they do, and how the bottom 10 operate and what they're doing. So, of course, you always want to stay doing what the top 10 do. And you
Yes.
want to avoid the bottom 10. And of course, part of business is sometimes when those locations don't work out and the leases are coming up, you just don't renew, which equals to a restaurant closure.
Oh, yeah.
So I paid a lot of attention to what those locations had in common and what to avoid. One of my personal locations that I used to manage was at the end of their lease, and it was a location that wasn't very profitable at all. So I got to experience that firsthand of having to shut down a location after like a 15-year lease.
Oh, gosh.
Yeah, so it was a rough one, but I got to experience it and I got to learn what not to do.
I love that you say, I got to experience it. You say it as an opportunity.
Yep.
So I would imagine your takeaways had to translate to how you operate today. But what have been some of your triumphs and some of your challenges so far in business at Huevos?
So me and Jenny kind of split the load. We each have a strength and a weakness.
Okay.
So I handle our strengths. So that way I don't have to handle our weaknesses. And I figure out where my weakness is at.
Mm-hmm.
And Jenny tackles my weakness.
Oh, very
That way,
good.
it's a strong operation all the way around. So she handles her strengths, and then I handle her weaknesses.
Mm.
That way, we don't have a weak link in between our team.
You guys are so amazing. You just make me love you even more. I love that.
So she's amazing with customer service. She's
Yeah.
amazing, and so have I. I have the same experience, but she's that much better at it than I am.
Yeah, she's got
First,
a
look at-
warmth
look at
about
the-
her.
Look at the face.
I
okay?
know.
You can't have a bald guy coming up to you and have the same warmth that you have with Jenny. So,
Yeah, get back in the kitchen and create, man.
So we have Jenny handle that part.
Huh.
And when it comes to the finances, and when it comes to all the vendors, and when it comes to the back office stuff,
Mhm.
Jenny hates that part.
I'm with you, Jen.
Jenny hates that part. I love that part.
Really?
Hence, I handle that part. And it's easy for me because I enjoy doing it.
That's awesome.
So we kind of tag team different parts of our businesses. And there's times where we overlap some parts of our businesses in order for us to grow. When I know there's a part that I'm weak at, I'll kind of chime in with her to make myself grow.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have this conversation every week where we figure out what our weakness was for that week and we bring it up and we talk about it. Hey, you
Yeah.
messed up or I messed up and this is how we did it. This is what we did. This is how we handled it. And this is how we need to handle it better next time.
Yeah, you got to acknowledge it to learn from it, right?
So, yeah, we help each other grow every time.
I love it. Yeah. You guys need to be teaching relationship classes as well. Okay, so how do you come up with pumpkin pancakes with topping on top? I mean, how do some of these amazing things that I can't get enough of, how in the heck do you design that? Does that you just at home at night go home and cook something and try it, or what do you do? What's your process?
So it's a little mixture of everything. So let's say, for example, we'll be finally at home. We're having our downtime and we'll both be on our phone for a period of time, and we'll both be sitting next to each other, either drinking a glass of wine, drinking a coffee. and-
Decompressing.
Exactly. And we're sitting there, and we both love comedy. We both love comedy all day, every day. It's just laughter throughout the day. So we're on social medias, and I would say 98% of the things that we follow are food related.
Right? Okay, that makes
And-
sense.
Exactly. So we're scrolling and we're looking at new foods. And when we find something that attracts or piques our interest, we show it to each other. Hey, look at this. How about we try this, but let's do that. And then we just start kind of breaking it down and we see what the ingredients are and we see how we could change the flavor, how we can make it ours.
Oh, yeah.
And when we get to the restaurant, we start playing around with it. And she goes, hey, remember that? Make it. All right. So I get in the kitchen, I start making it. And I give it to her. Here, try it. She tries it. I try it. And then she goes, well, how about we change this? And we just start changing. And it might have started as
cool.
one thing and it comes out something completely different. And then we'll have our staff do a full blind test.
Okay, so I have to admit the red velvet pancakes with, oh my gosh, the streusel and then the icing on the top. Oh man, I think that's probably naughty, but I love it.
Wait, that's not true. I usually tell you, I want this, I want that,
So-
I want this. And I tell you to go make it.
See, she has a voice.
So the
The coffee cake.
coffee
pancakes?
cakes.
Oh,
Or the red velvet crepes.
Yeah, the coffee cakes were a better one. I have never had coffee cake in my life
really?
ever. And we were running errands in Vegas, and we stopped by a Starbucks. So we stopped by a Starbucks. She goes, "Hey, would you like a coffee cake?" In my head, I told her no, because in my head, coffee cake to me was a loaf of bread, aka cake, that you had with a cup of coffee.
Okay.
Why do I want a loaf of bread when I'm driving with my coffee? No, just give me my coffee.
Yeah.
And so she still orders it. She orders it for herself. And I don't remember we had already pulled out of the parking lot or not. And as we're driving, I take a sip of my coffee. She goes, "Here." And I'm driving. I'm like, whatever. I'm not going to tell her no. So I lean over and I just take a bite. And I remember I stopped the car. I remember I stopped the car and I look at her and I was like, "What was that?" She goes, "What? What did you just feed me?" She goes, "Coffee cake." I was like, "Well, let me get another bite." She gives me another bite. I was like, "Woman, you better get your own." I have never had it. And she goes, "Are you serious?
That's crazy.
You're this old and you never had it."
Oh my
Never
gosh.
had it. And she had a laugh about it. Well, when we get back to the restaurant, she goes, "Make that into a pancake." And I looked at
Oh,
her.
there you go.
"Woman, it's not that easy. You don't get to throw a flavor at me and say, make it a pancake." So that's exactly what she's talking about. She just,
Yeah, you did.
and she goes, "Can you do it?" Well, yeah, but I don't want you to assume that I can just make it. "Well, can you do it?" "Yeah, then do it."
So, Jenny, what he's telling me is you have learned to manipulate him to get your way, and you suggest something and try to make it his own idea. And then when he says he can't, you go, "Oh, yeah, I guess you can't." And then, of course, he's got to be challenged and he's got to take care of it. And he did it, and it's freaking amazing.
And
Good job, Jenny.
And
They're delicious.
They're delicious when I came up with, see, there it is when I came up with it. Well, yeah, I didn't come up with it. She came up with it. But once I made it happen, the flavor, man, it was out of this world. And I never had it, and I've been hooked ever since I had it.
I would imagine. So, restaurant 1933, the Boulder Hotel, they're known for their coffee cake. And so I'm thinking that we need to get on the restaurant map that the chamber produces. We need to start highlighting who has a coffee cake type item and make a big dang deal out of it. And then one of our special events, have a coffee cake challenge.
Ooh,
And have all of the Taste of Boulder City come to the table with their coffee cake.
that's something I'll fast for an entire day.
Yeah. Yeah, prepare your tummy.
Yes.
That is awesome. You guys are so crazy. So I had no idea I thought we were going to talk about food in the restaurant. I had no idea we were talking about relationships because Jenny just really kind of opened the door to let me understand things better now. So what do you guys have in the horizon? What's coming up in the future for you?
So we got some major news that everybody asks us on a daily basis. I would say ballpark 5 to 10 times a day. We are opening for dinner.
Yay!
So everybody keeps asking. We are opening for dinner. Nobody has seen the menu except me and Jenny. Me and Jenny have seen the menu. Nobody else has. We actually confirmed with one of our vendors yesterday about a couple items that were missing. So we confirmed that yesterday. That order is going to be placed today, and that it's going to be executed in about a week. So we should receive some of the materials that we're missing, and we're probably 1 to 2 details away from completing that. And so we're almost there. But our menu is going to consist of the same mixture that we have during our day menu. It's going to be a Mexican American,
Okay.
and it's going to be just regular place that you come and love, like a steak dinner, like a chicken dinner, like a shrimp dinner. But then you're going to have your oddballs that you have never had, or if you have, I made sure that we are the only ones in towns that make it. So something
Oh,
specific to us.
kind of a niche for just you guys.
Exactly.
I
So
love
if you
that.
ever in the middle of the day, you're like, you know what, I'm craving such and such item, you have no choice.
That is amazing. What a smart marketing tool. Yeah,
So
you
because
guys-
when we both crave something specific, and we know it's one specific location, and we start talking about it, we can't stop talking about it. So we have to go. We literally have to go. We don't even think about it. We have to go.
I love that.
Yeah.
You're motivated by
Yes.
those cravings. Well, I think that's great. And I cannot wait for you to unveil what all of that looks like. Are you thinking timeline by the end of the year?
Yes.
End of
So,
24?
yeah. So before this year's out, we're going to be open for dinner, and we're going to announce it on all our social medias.
Okay.
We're going to give a heads up. And what we're going to do is we're going to do one free 2-hour night.
Oh, wow.
So the only thing we're going to have for purchase that day is the other exciting news. Was it Friday or Monday? We received our new alcohol license. So we have our beer and wine.
Oh, congratulations. Good job.
We now got a full cocktail license.
Very cool.
So now we're going to be able to sell margaritas and hard alcohol, stuff like that.
Great.
So now with that, when we do our free 2-hour night, on that 2-hour night is everybody's going to come in. It's just going to be a social event. We're all just going to hang out, talk, and we're going to have food coming out. That's going to be on the dinner menu, but it's going to be in small portions.
Oh,
And
great.
the only thing that's going to be for sale that night is going to be alcohol.
I love that.
Some of the new alcohol drinks that we're coming up with as well.
Very signature drinks to Huevos Avenue.
So I introduced Jenny into a new kind of margarita that she's been hooked on.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. So
Please don't make her an alcoholic. We need her too badly.
no, we do need her. She gets so much happier.
I'm sorry, but she's happy all the time, so that one doesn't work with me. But I am so excited for this new venture for you guys, and it sounds to me like you've really put a lot of thought and effort and preparation. You're not moving too fast. You're doing this in a timely manner with a lot of real thoughtfulness to what you're about to approach, because sadly we see some that come and go so quick because that effort has been kind of jumped over. So thank you for taking that time and getting yourself prepared, and you're leaving a little bit. So everyone's so excited for this to happen and keeps, like you said, ask you every day. Well, that you're building that enthusiasm and that excitement. And so when you finally do release it, man, you're going to be crowded.
Yeah, we've been told.
That's
We've been
so
told.
happy. I'm so happy
it's
for you.
customers that ask us that to let them know when we're going to open because they plan to be there every night.
Well, and now that you've got the road getting ready to open behind you for the Train Museum and all, so December 6th, we're breaking ground at the Train Museum. So, and then work starts January 6th. So lots of activity back there happening. And within the next 2 years, by the end of 26, you're going to have a lot of activity happening right at your back door as well.
Yeah, we have an amazing relationship with them.
Oh, you do.
Yeah.
We are very grateful for that. We know the Friends of the Nevada Southern Railway love you.
Yeah, we
They
do
talk
their
about you guys all the time. So that is awesome. I am excited for you. And I know that with Best of Boulder City, you guys were in a very competitive category.
Oh, were we?
Yeah, that was crazy. And we love this. And we loved the fun cooperatism that we were really kind of seeing too. We just have so many great places. It's really hard for any one person to always shine. But you guys did a great job. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Very much do. So I want to know a little bit about each of you. Alex, what was your first job?
My first job, let's think an actual job, because I had a lot of jobs. So an actual job that actually was somewhat meaningful. So my first job, I would say, will be between 1 and 2. I was very young. I worked cleaning offices.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Okay.
So I worked cleaning offices at 4 a.m.
Oh, my gosh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
So it was a tough one. So I worked cleaning offices at 4 a.m. And that was kind of my first step into employment. I used to work for a guy, great guy. He used to pick me up at 4 a.m. We used to go out and clean offices. And it was rough because I was 4 a.m. and I was still going to school. That was one. But the one that kind of really started developing my backbone was with my stepfather. He had a paper route. He's a correctional officer, but he also had a paper route.
Wow.
And he pulled me into that paper route, delivering newspapers because he just wanted to show that discipline.
He wanted to instill that, that work ethic.
So we used to show up at between 3 and 3:30 in the morning.
Oh, my gosh. No wonder you don't sleep now.
Yeah. So we used to show up and pick up, 2,000 papers
Wow.
and sit there and roll them and bag them and go deliver them. And we had a timeline to be done by. And right after that was going to school. And after I graduated I still kept that paper route, and I had 3 jobs.
Wow.
So I have always worked multiple jobs. Always. It's just, I have to keep myself busy. But the main job that kind of put me in where I am now, I was 16 and I was working at a McDonald's just like every teenager does.
Yeah, exactly.
And
Fast food kickstarts a lot of people's
Yep.
lifelong careers.
And I was there, and I was a regular staff member for a couple months only. And right away, I transitioned over to management. And before I knew it, I was running my own location. And ever since that job, every job that I took on after my entire life has been all management. I have always started at a non-management area, a non-management position, and usually no more than 6 months.
Wow.
I've transitioned into management.
Yeah,
Every
because
single job.
you have such a great foundation. So do you look across the street from Huevos and think, man, I'm so glad I'm not over there?
Yes. Oh my God. Yes.
Being an independent business owner, we're grateful to have a McDonald's
Yes.
in Boulder City, but I would imagine being an entrepreneur, owning your own business, putting your own systems into place, and being very successful at it, it's got to be so rewarding.
So I put it real simple. I like being able to go to the bathroom when I want to, not when I'm allowed.
Oh, yeah. I
That's
can't even
simple.
imagine. Well, we're glad you can do that too.
It's just a business saying, because when you're not in ownership and when you don't make your own rules and your own schedule, you have to ask permissions for everything.
That's right. That's exactly right. It's empowering.
Yep.
Yeah, it's life altering as well.
I get to decide when I get to work or when I get to wash dishes at home.
No, I get to decide that.
I love you, Jenny. So, Jenny, what was your first job?
My first job was at IHOP.
Oh, really? Is that how you guys met?
Yes and no.
Yeah.
Yes and no. She was a general manager of IHOP in Nevada,
Oh,
and I was a manager in California for the same franchise, but in different areas. I had never met her in my life. Funny, I am from LA, and she is also from LA.
that is so crazy.
Yeah. And she was born a few minutes down the street from where I lived, but we never met. And when we had a regional meeting for all the locations, it was a conference, all 77 locations got together. She was there. And she happens to be in the same area that was structured on the West Coast for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it was my market and her market were part of one area. So we were hanging out within the same groups, and I seen her for the first time. And when I seen her, I asked a mutual friend of ours, I asked her, "Who's that?" And he replied, "Don't worry about it."
Oh.
She was in a relationship at the time. And
Uh-huh.
he goes, "Don't worry about it." And I was like, "Well, what's her name?" "Don't worry about it. Look, just give me her name or I'll go find out myself."
You should have just gone and found out yourself.
Oh, well, I kind of did. I found out her name and we kind of talked. I introduced myself and she
And
always
then
jokes.
he wouldn't stop following me around
Oh,
I would not.
truth be
during
known.
that conference.
Yeah. So it's something called following up. In our finance business, we have something called following up.
I have never heard business translate into following somebody around. Okay, got it.
So yeah, in our business and in my finance business, it is not the right time for everyone to take that financial decision, to take that financial step. So you always follow up. You follow up because it's not the right time or place for them. So for me, I knew it was my time. She was just not ready. So I needed to follow up. So I followed up and followed up. And we had a group message where all us managers reported our sales and our labor by the end of the day. That way you can remain more accountable.
Mhm.
That way you pushed your business to the next stage. And you never want to report in bad numbers.
Right.
So you were reporting that and you're pushing for that. So every day there was right around 10 phone numbers that used to come into a group message. And I had my market's phone numbers already saved in my phone, so I knew who they were.
Right.
We have Nevada or Las Vegas market. So process of elimination. This is such and such, save their number. This is such and such, save their number. And I finally had one number left and I didn't know who it was. So I called. I called the phone number during a regular business day. She picks up. I was like, "Hey, Jenny, how are you?" "Good. Oh, I just wanted to know how your sales were for today."
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Following up.
Uh-huh.
So I followed up for months. And after so many months, she picks up one day and, "What's wrong?" She goes, "Nothing." I was like, "You okay?" "Yeah, I just broke up with my boyfriend." And I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Yes, I mean, I'm sorry."
That's your follow-up.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
I
followed
get
up.
it.
So now she was in the right time
Time,
and
yeah.
place.
Yeah.
So at that time, I was like, "What are you going to do?" "Oh, I'm going to take a little vacation with my family. I'm going to get away. I'm going to step away from everything for a little bit for a week or so." I was like, "Okay, well, when you come back, how about we hang out? Let's just hang out." And I told her, I was like, fly out to San Francisco and we'll go out there. We'll make a day of it.
How fun.
And she goes, sure. All right. And in my head, I'm like, yeah, right. She just told me sure so I could hang up. And sure enough, she sends me a screenshot of her flight. And that's when
Aw.
it was that oh crap moment.
It's going to
I'm
happen.
like, oh crap, it's real. So sure enough, she flew out to San Francisco. I met her there. And we just went out, and it was during COVID. It
Oh
was
my
during
gosh.
COVID. So nothing was open anywhere in the country. So I had to figure out how to make it a date, but not a date.
I guess we're going on a walk.
Yeah. So I had to figure out how to make it happen when nothing was open.
Yeah.
So we went on a hike. We went out sightseeing. I took her to different locations. I showed her what San Francisco is known for. And there was roughly about 15 landmarks that I took her to.
Oh, how cool.
And we just got in the car. We were laughing, drinking coffee, driving around, showing her main areas of attractions where movies were filmed, all
How
kinds of stuff like
fun.
that. And we just made a day out of it. And we ended up the day at the pier eating some crepes. Ironic.
Oh my gosh. I'm
ironic.
telling you, there's too many connections here.
Ironic.
You should have given him coffee cake.
Right? Would have been faster, so much faster. We had crepes at the pier. And that moment I'll never forget in my life. We're sitting there at the pier. We're having crepes. And she's eating hers and I'm eating mine. And we're sharing and asking each other what we think of our crepes. And this was a sign. A bird pooped on her.
Oh, yuck. I'm waiting for something much different than that line.
A bird pooped on her. And we could not stop laughing.
Oh my gosh.
We could not stop laughing. And of course, from there it started. I came over to Nevada to come visit her.
Yeah.
And I just came out and she showed me around and we had a good time. And then a different time, then she went back out to California to visit me. And then after that, I came back out to Nevada. And that's when I was like, you know what? I'm just letting you know we're dating kind of thing.
I'm just letting you know.
And then he slowly moved in.
You be quiet.
That was the sign. You knew that, okay, I'm giving in. You let him do that. We know this. We know who was in control.
So yeah, it's called following up.
So just FYI, in the law enforcement world, that's called stalking. But, as
That's what
long,
I always tell him.
Yeah, that's what I always tell the students. You were a stalker. Tomato. It's called following for legal purposes.
When you sent me flowers, I'm like, how do you remember my address?
Yeah, she didn't give me her address.
well, I can imagine.
So I have a different background as well. So I am very conscious of all my surroundings. I know everything that's around me, every single number that is printed on the walls. I am very particular when it comes to that kind of stuff. And when I went to visit her, I seen the number on the building right out of her house, and I memorized the number. And sure enough, when I was going to send her flowers, I just did some research.
There you go.
And I pulled up her address, and I just sent her flowers to her doorstep.
I'm sure glad you guys ended up together, because if not, I think he'd still be in a legal battle.
And either that or with a restraining order.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Oh my gosh, you guys are adorable. Well, so Jenny, what was your first job?
My first job was at IHOP. So I was 17 years old when I started working there. I started as a hostess, and then I worked my way up to a server, and then I did some management.
So you kind of were always in that realm.
So I was there for 12 years
12 years.
at my first job.
And so,
And now our employees at Huevos Avenue, I work with them at IHOP.
oh, really?
So they drive all the way from Las Vegas to Boulder City.
Really? So they understand your work ethic and that they can work with you and that you're a great leader. That's incredible. Sorry, IHOP, that we stole them, but I'm glad they're out here.
No, and then
We didn't steal them.
No,
good.
they actually just came. And then we have one of our newest hires. She's a social butterfly from Boulder,
Oh, good. I want to know who.
Timber.
Oh, my gosh. Everybody loves Timber. Yeah, she is iconic here in town.
Oh my gosh, she fits into the team
Oh,
just
yeah.
like a glove.
Oh.
Oh my gosh, she fits
Oh,
just like a
perfect.
glove to the team. So,
She'll bring her own clientele.
she has.
Yeah, I believe it.
She has.
She has quite the following. Isn't that funny? Speaking of following, it was incredible. You guys had an influencer that I guess I would imagine knew and found out from other followers or other influencers about the food and came out to the restaurant. And the train reported that because of you and that influencer, their numbers that day, their ridership that weekend would just skyrocketed. And I thought, man, that is so cool. We need to recreate everything that you guys just did. And so did you have a secret? How did that fall into place?
So that creator came into town, and creators usually go out to town to different areas. Vegas is all about fun and attractions and stuff like that. But there's some creators that want to step out of that and something that is nearby, something that people are not used to. So, for example, Boulder City and the train, something that a lot of people don't know. So that content creator came out and just getting away from the whole fast moving pace of Vegas, completely different in Boulder. So they came out and filmed. They came out to eat, they had some food, they went around to local attractions, and they just happened right behind us. It's just the train.
Right.
It's parked right behind us. And it always sparks some interest that anybody that's come into our building, they see the train.
Yes.
And they found out about the tours. They went into the tour. And the railroad had the biggest sales in one day they have ever had in their entire career.
That's what Christopher told me. And a couple of the volunteers like, we were so crazy. We didn't know what you were doing. I thought, man, I love it.
Because they ran out of change.
Oh, gosh.
And they called us. They're like, we're so sorry. It's like relax. Because you could hear their frustration in their voice.
And panic, yeah.
Yeah, and panic. Well, we're used to this because we come from a big corporate background. So we're used to these crazy events. We're used to something out of the blue just happening. And you just kind of get your head in the zone.
Respond.
Yeah, and you just respond with everything in you and just push through. And that was their first situation. So for us, that was something normal. So I get on the phone and I tell her, all right, relax. Oh, well, okay, just relax. Just come over. We'll fix whatever it is. Just come over. So they came over and we give them change. And they were, you can see. And when they came in, as we're giving them change, I grabbed food and just whatever was on the counter and I just packed it. Here, you need food.
Oh.
Take it to go. So I just packed food and gave them change and they went on their way. They called them, I don't know, an hour later for more change. They came by. We gave them more change. And after the event was over, they called to express how grateful they were.
Oh,
and
I know.
They asked me, can you put us in touch with that creator, with that content creator? Yeah, of course. So I reached out to him. I asked him if it was okay to distribute his phone number. So I did. And they send them vouchers for his entire family as a thanks.
Oh, cool.
And for us, we know that content creation is one of the main things you always want to advertise in because especially when you get home from work, you want to de-stress.
Yeah.
And the norm is you get on your phone.
Yep, people have found that to be that mindless activity that they need that not only connects them to family and friends when they see other people's videos and pictures and first day of school and all of those fun family things, but then also it's a good laugh, like you said. It's kind of that humor.
And a fun little tip, we've been to the railroad. We went to introduce ourselves and we took a bunch of food for all the volunteers. We walked in, we introduced ourselves, and we handed food out. That was it. And they came by a couple months ago and they brought us a voucher for our family to go on a train ride. We have never been on a train ride. We're going to be on our first one this coming up month.
Oh my gosh, that's going to be so cool. Yeah. How fun. Do you guys have a big family celebrations and dinners like Thanksgivings? And does everybody come into your house for Thanksgiving?
So my entire family is in California.
Oh.
So I'm here. I'm the only one here in Nevada. So it's all Jenny's family. And we get together with her family and we do big things. And right now we are planning, a couple of days ago we started planning our first big Secret Santa employee dinner.
Oh, fun.
Yeah. So it's going to be a big thing and we're going to have our entire crew come in and we're going to do a dinner just for them.
How fun.
So it's going to be something big that we're going to do. And this is actually a plan moving forward, how we're going to do this dinner at the end of the year, every year.
As a thank you.
Yeah, as a thank you.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. You got to keep appreciating those people that are providing you with the ability to do what you do.
Yeah.
That's great.
And then Jenny's mom makes amazing food.
Oh,
She,
very fun.
we have an inside joke that she makes amazing food every Thursday when I'm in California, so I don't have any.
Lady.
It's just true.
And so you were born in California, though, Jenny?
I was born in California.
Yeah. Very cool. Well, we're so glad that you guys are here. Thank you for being, like I said, such an asset. We're grateful that California sent you, us, to us. We love it. So one of my favorite things to ask people before they go is, what book are you reading, Alex?
So there is a book. It's called 7 Love Languages.
Oh, yes, yes, yes.
So I know I have weaknesses. And we talked about this at the beginning. And I know I have weaknesses. And I try to focus on my weaknesses so I could eliminate them, not get rid of them, but not make them weaknesses anymore. One of my weaknesses is that I dive in myself 100% into work.
Mm-hmm.
And I've been like that since birth, since I was little. Since I was little, I've always been like that. When I dive myself into something, I dive myself 100%.
Which can be a great strength as well, right?
So the weakness part of it comes in when it comes to my relationship with Jenny. Because I tend to forget about the relationship and focus so much. And when I'm done with the work side, that's when I realize, oh, yeah, I have a relationship. That I gotta
Oh,
work on.
yeah. You need more balance in that lifestyle.
Exactly. So Jenny brought it up to my attention. And that's one of the things that we talk about. We talk about each other's weaknesses. And she brought it up how I've been so focused and I need to also take care of our relationship.
Mm-hmm.
And in my past, I never cared for that part. Hey, you know what? I'm going to succeed with or without you. And
how'd that go for you?
yeah. Yeah. 2 separations later, not very well. So now I have to learn that with age comes maturity. And if I want something to last, I'm not just a bottle rocket, something that actually to last. I need to nourish it. One of the things was the relationship side. I can't just be like, well, you like it or not, too bad. I have to learn that it's not just my way or the highway. It's a partnership in business. It's a partnership in life. So one of
Got to
the things-
cultivate that relationship.
Exactly. So reading that book, 7 Love Languages, really kind of puts things into perspective because not everyone is the same. I have a different love language than Jenny does. And you can't just expect everyone to have the same love language. It's not realistic.
No, you're right. And we wouldn't want that.
Yeah,
Wouldn't that
we
be
wouldn't.
boring?
Exactly. So I have realized that I have to treat Jenny differently than what I want to be treated. I like affection. Jenny does not. So I like affection. I like
I'm
when
with
she's-
you, Jenny.
Yeah, she does not like affection. She does not like,
Or talking about it.
yeah, she does not. She hates talking about the relationship. She hates me trying to hold her hand, me trying to hug her all the time. She hates all that. I love talking about our relationship. I love holding hands. I love being affectionate. So reading that book put me in a situation where I have learned that I can't always be holding her hand because it's not her thing, it's mine.
Mm-hmm.
I can't always be expecting to talk about the relationship because she doesn't like that, but I do. But I have realized that other things that she enjoys to do that I don't, I have to embrace those.
Mm-hmm.
For example, I've never had this conversation with her until right now.
I love it. I love the exclusives.
So I have realized one of her love languages is when you do things for her.
That's why you've been cleaning. That's what I was thinking about.
That to-do list.
See, this just happened right now.
Yeah, you just identified it. Good job.
So I've been cleaning lately at home. So
Good for
more
you.
than the regular.
Doing laundry.
Yeah, more than the regular.
How you're not supposed to?
Okay, I have never done laundry for a woman in my life. I've always, my entire life, done laundry for myself. So I am learning how to wash bras. Okay.
This is the
And
thing.
washing towels with the clothes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a guy. I've always washed my own.
He just wants to get it all done at once.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm learning, and
And you don't dry bras, do you?
well, after the first time I learned,
Yeah, okay,
No,
good
after
job.
the second time.
I didn't try them the second time. I washed them together.
Oh, he
not
washed
delicate.
everything together.
Oh, there you well.
So
okay.
two times I'm learning. So thanks to that book, I have been learning that is her love language.
Mm.
So now I am tackling that side of doing the not just the regular cleaning, but the extra cleaning. There's times where she'll go to the store, she'll buy something, and she'll throw it in her closet. And we're so busy that A week later, you can't walk into her closet. And she gets overwhelmed when I tell her, let's go to dinner. She goes, I have nothing to wear. And I look at that assortment of clothing. And
Jenny, I need to invite you to my house. I converted a bedroom to a closet. I call it my dressing room. And you are exactly right. Everything's so jam-packed in there. And I'm like, I have nothing to wear. And Barry looks at me like, I don't even want to talk to you right now. And he walks away. Oh, my gosh.
And
I'm so you, Jenny.
Normally, I'll run my mouth and say something. And I have learned that I can't do that. I can't run my mouth and make it worse.
Yeah.
So she goes, I have nothing to wear. So I have learned that I step into her closet and start pulling clothes out. What about this, hon? What about this? What about this? And that is her love language. That's her love language. So it's not something that I'm used to, but it's something that with age comes maturity. And I have learned that this is something that I need to work on if I want our relationship to succeed.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah, that's the book that I'm reading right now.
I love that. Thank you very much for that insight and all that exclusive information.
So she just found out why I'm cleaning.
No, I realized it when you said what book you're reading.
Yeah.
There you go. What book are you reading, Jenny?
I'm learning how to read Alex.
Yeah, the Book of Alex. There you go.
Yeah,
that one's going to be hard.
It has its chapters, not all good.
Yeah, and you also need a vocabulary section in the back because his word follow-up is completely different than stalker.
Yeah.
So hopefully you get some definitions going in there.
There's times where, we both speak Spanish fluently, but I speak Spanish different than Jenny. So Jenny learned Spanish. She was born here in the States. She was born in California, so she learned Spanish through her family here in the States. I was actually not born in the States.
Oh,
I came to the States when I was 4 years old.
Okay.
But I was not born in the States. I was born in Mexico. So I learned Spanish in the actual country. So I know the actual language. So as we're talking, I'll say words and Jenny will just give me this blank look. It's funny how you say you have to learn all these words because she does. She'll ask me, what is that? And I'll sit there and explain what a word is. And she'll utilize that word for probably that day, trying to get it into her vocabulary. And I'll make fun of her. But then in return, she'll make fun of me.
Right.
I have ADHD, so there's times where I have to slow myself down when I talk. And there's certain words that I'll go through too fast and mispronounce or can't pronounce. And then she'll throw those back at me. And we have learned, once again, to kind of play around with that and use it as a growing exercise, but also as a laughing moment.
Right, absolutely.
Laughing moment.
You're going to have to be able to laugh at stuff like that. I love that. And I think that the idea that multiple languages, it's all the same language, but like you said, there's different dialects, there's different ways of people saying it. So I think that's always fascinating. Different parts of the country, different mannerisms and the way they say it.
Exactly.
That is very cool. Well, I think you guys are pretty awesome. I have loved learning a little bit more about you, and I've learned even more about you, and I'm hoping that some very special event is within your future, and I'm really looking forward to hearing more about that special event that is going to be in your future.
Why are you turning red? So
Don't worry, this is only a voice recording. You don't have to worry about turning red in front of me. I am happy for you guys.
So
you guys are
when people
amazing.
ask, usually our vendors, when they ask, so when they take our information.
Oh, yeah. Last name?
Yeah, so they always ask for a last name because they always ask, and I always give my business card and it says Alex and Jenny. And I always tell them, you can reach out to me, but for whatever reason I'm not available, you can talk to Jenny, and she'll relay the information to me because I'm the one that deals with 100% of our vendors.
Right.
And they always take my name. They take Jenny's and they go, okay, and what's the last name? And I spell it out. I never say my last name. I always spell it out because it's a difficult last name to pronounce. So I spell it out and they're like, oh, okay, so that's your last name, yours and Jenny's last name. And I always reply, not yet. But it will be.
So that not yet has become kind of like a see you tomorrow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's something in the works.
It's something in the works. So again, another exclusive.
Oh, yeah.
I'm very excited for you guys. That'll be awesome. That commitment makes all the difference in the world. That will be her love language, dude.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
You got
trust
it.
me, I'm learning that book. I've read it in the past for business.
Really?
Yes, I have read that book for business, and there's a second version of it called The Star Language, and it's identical but it's for the business side. And I've read the 7 love languages for business, and it really interested me, but I never cared for the original 7 love languages. Never really cared for it until now.
Yeah, now it's important because you need to put it into play.
Yeah, because I thought grabbing Jenny's hand and hugging her was going to make things better. And that's my love language, not hers.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to learn which way to express, which way to embrace us stronger to make our business stronger.
Well, I love it. So now your business is stronger. It's going in all the right directions, and your relationship's strong and going to get stronger. And I'm excited for that. And I can't wait.
Yes.
I can't wait. This is going to be very special. What a fun thing. You guys are amazing. Thank you for being Best of Boulder City. Thank you for being a true asset. Thank you for all that you have done to contribute to Boulder City's success. So we appreciate you guys.
Thank you for having us. We love being part of this amazing and unique family. This city is just wow.
It is. What a great, well, we're going to end right there.
And with that said, we'll see you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
This episode of the Best Damn Podcast has been a production of the Boulder City Chamber of Commerce, brought to you from I&I Music and Podcast Studios. Please check out all the links and social media handles on our website as well at bouldercitychamber.com. You can find the Best Damn Podcast on all your favorite podcast directories. Like us and share on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. Until next time, discover, explore, and unwind in Boulder City.